we are now going to set up GloBrix throughout this house and scene that I've decorated. I like to start with like things, so let's say these patio lights that they have. I want to start there and install GloBrix in all of these lights. Then we'll set up the links to make it easy to turn on and off, and then finally the moods once we start adding more lights to what we are installing, which will all make sense as I go through this. So, when I was creating GloBrix, it was really important for me to keep this as one script, so it's very easy to drop it into the object or the child prim. In this case, when we look at this house, these lights are connected as child prims, so I need to make sure I hit edit linked and select the child prim itself that I want to add light effects to. So I've got that selected, and then I'm going to go over, grab my latest GloBrix Ash script, and just drop it in. And now this is fully functional, so it will interact with the HUD. So let's talk about the HUD a little, and then I'll drop the script in the rest of these lights. So this HUD allows you to communicate with the GloBrix that you've set up. So let's start with the most important button, the Show GloBrix. So if I click on this Show GloBrix, it's going to make hover text appear. That is essentially showing me where have I installed the script. Right now we just have it on one, so it's only showing up on one. But you could imagine if I had put these in all of the lights, you would see that hovering text, letting me see what I can and cannot control. It also says it's not listening right now, which means it won't hear any commands that we send through the HUD. To change that, I just need to click it. Now it's listening. It also says all faces. That comes into play with prims actually like these, where you have some of the faces that you actually want to apply the settings to. So like you have this light bulb face 3, and then you have sort of this glow effect face that the creator added. So that's actually a texture here, and that's on face 0. But this metallic part, face 1, we actually don't want to apply, like let's say we apply like a rainbow effect. We want it to apply to the bulb and this glowing face, but we don't want the metal to change. And I can show you what that looks like if we don't fix it. So we have listening all faces turned on. So we have the listening on, so it's going to accept commands. So let's just do a quick Christmassy double color red and green, and I'll talk about these in a second. And there you go. So we have this applied to all faces, and we can see here that this metal is changing color, which is not what we want. Everything else looks great. So I'm actually going to clear, well, let's actually do just a solid color. And then we'll just do white, which I think is on this page. Yep. Okay. Now we can change that to any color we want. I just wanted to set it back to white. So how do we fix this? We talked about the show button. I'm gonna skip the clear listening for now. We're gonna go into face select. So if I hit face select, it will ask me to choose which faces I want to apply the effect to. So I can say 0 because that was this glow face. We actually want to add another, so we're going to do 3 because that was the bulb. I actually haven't figured out what 2 is, but that's okay. We can just use the 2 here. Now we see it says listening 2 faces. It's going to remember that. Once you set the faces, you're set in stone. You don't need to come back and toggle that, so it's easy to forget that this button's up here once you get everything set up correctly. But that's good. That means you have less to worry about when you're switching between different moods. So now that we have this on two faces, let's do that again. Where we do double color, red, green, and ta-da. Alright. Let's go ahead and add this script to the other patio lights, and then I'll walk through these buttons here and these settings that I've been quickly running through. So we'll speed this part up through editing magic. Okay, go ahead, man. Okay. Now we see that this one is listening and there's no text. So I just want to hit hide GloBrix. That's going to hide the text here. And then hit show again, and that is going to show all of these GloBrix here. This one was set to two faces because that's how we just set that up, but these ones are still the default all faces, so I'm going to click on these. And we can send commands to multiple GloBrix at once. So normally you would put these in all of the like objects and then set all faces, but I'm doing it a little different because I'm recording a video. Great, we've got those all selected. Now I'm going to hit face select again, 0, add another, and 3. And I'm going to hit done. Perfect, these have updated. Let's turn listening on here too. Now I can start sending some commands. So let's do that. So on our HUD we have the color settings, your light settings, your glow and texture settings, and then your link and mood settings. Under your color settings you have color strobe, which is going to strobe through the colors that you select. So let's do a demo of that. Let's keep it Christmassy. We'll do red, and then this is actually a lime green, so I want like a darker green. So I'm going to do the hex code. That is a more dark, that's the hex code for a darker green. Alright, so we see there that it's now strobing instead of fading between the two colors. I can increase the speed, so if that's a bit fast, I can have it flip every 5 seconds, 10 seconds, however I'd like it. I can also just type that in. We have double colors, so that was what I selected, where it's just rotating through the two colors. I could do a triple color, so like purple, cyan, magenta. We also have color palettes, so if I want to apply a pre-designed theme, I can do that. This does take about 30 seconds to apply. The reason for that is you're loading from a note card, so it's just taking a second to read that setting. There we go. And like I said, I can mess with the speed again. And I can also turn that off. Color ombre is more of a fade than that strobe. So again, I have the speed that I can manipulate. I can do double color, red, green, where it's fading in between. I can do a triple color, orange, purple, cyan. And again, I can change that speed. And then I have the solid color, so if I just want this to be like pink, there we go. Now, to get rid of that floating text, if I'm happy with it and I just want to set it and forget it, I can hit hide GloBrix and it will get rid of that text. It will also turn off listening. So let me do that. When I turn it back on, listening is now turned off. So if I wanted to send new commands, I need to click all of these again. Now, as I say that, you might be thinking, okay, every time I want to set a new command, I gotta like click all of these and figure out which ones and how many times did I click there? Maybe 10 times. The first time, yeah. You do need to do that. What I like to do after setting these up is not actually send commands, but to set up the links. So I'm going to skip these two buttons and go right over to my link manager so that I can connect these and make it really easy to just turn them on and all off at the same time with a couple of clicks instead of 10 or more. So I'm going to go into my link manager. Right now the turn listen on, turn listen off isn't going to work for us because we actually need to set up the link. So I'm going to hit add new links. Need to give it a name, so I'm just going to say patio lights. Yeah, let's do patio lights. Submit. Now you'll see the text has changed to this green saying it's available. That's letting me know that this has GloBrix installed, and I just need to click them to connect them together. So now it's active, it is going to be part of this link, and I just want to click all of these. Last one. Do a spin around to make sure. Great. Now I hit save new links, and in my chat I got this sent back to me, this link patio lights, and those are the UUIDs of those child links. So the system knows who to talk to. I'm going to edit this HUD, so right click edit, find the links, note card, copy that, or I'll paste that in, hit save. It's going to reload the HUD again. And when it does, it will have these all connected. So, just giving it a second here. Looks like we're good. Alright, so I'm going to hit turn listen on. I see my patio lights now. Actually, let me do something. Let me put this back. Show GloBrix. The text is on. Then I'm going to hit turn listen on, patio lights, and ta-da. Now all of these are in listening mode with just that one click. I could add more if I had more, but I'm not there yet, so we're just going to hit done. Great. That will come in handy when we're building moods as well. So I highly, highly recommend setting up your links as soon as you get everything set up so that you can toggle that on and off. If I want to turn it off, same thing. I actually want them on. Okay, so we talked about the color settings. We talked about the link manager. We'll talk about the mood manager at the end. Let's see. I want to talk about the light settings here. So this is our light settings button. We have projectors, which we're not going to use for this, but if I wanted to apply a texture to the light setting, we could do that. So it would ask for a texture or to clear the projector. That can come in handy if you're building like spotlights. I had a stained glass projector that was really pretty, so I wanted to make sure I preserved that, or I was actually able to change the color on it. So that can come in handy. We have light strobe that allows us to strobe through lights, so let's do that. So let's look at double color. Very similar to how the colors work, red, green. Now it is strobing through that. We can change the intensity. In SL, things are kind of a lot, so sometimes it's good to do that. We can also change the radius. Its default is 10. I can turn that down to 5, and we can start to see that lower. We can turn them back off. Like I said, we can change that speed. We have double, triple, and then the same color palettes. We also have that light fade, which does the same thing as the color settings. So I could do yellow, cyan, purple. now it's going to fade between those lights. I could do that, slow it down a little bit, and then if you just want to have a solid light, you could do that. Now, I can stack these so I can have the color ombre going as well. Let's see if I remember. Was it yellow, cyan, purple? You want to make sure you click in the right order because you're literally sending commands. So if I had clicked instead purple, cyan, yellow, it would play that command in that order, which wouldn't sync up with the lights that I just set up. So you want to make sure you mirror. Let's see. So we talked about these settings, the light settings. The last settings on here are the texture and glow tools. So for this, we're not going to be applying different textures, but later on in this video, I'm sure we'll find something where I not only want to change its light and color settings, but I want to apply a different texture too. So you can do that and you can animate it by having it scroll, and then whether horizontally or vertically, and you can change the speed of that animation. So we'll find something where we can apply that. The glow mode, my favorite one, is where you can turn on glow for an item. I think it's actually already on. Yeah, there we go. So I just turned it off. We can just have that static one. We can have a flicker where it actually flickers on and off sort of at a random pattern. And then we have that fade. Sorry, my cat just distracted me. Okay, so the glow fades from, let's actually see, the max glow is a value of 0.2, so it fades from 0 to 0.2. Now we can edit that so it doesn't get as bright or it gets brighter. Glow tends to be a lot. A little bit goes a long way, so that's 0.1 and it's still pretty fierce. But I think that's perfect. We can change the speed so the glow fade slows down a little bit, matches maybe a little bit more. We can always stop it. Okay, and then the last setting on here is really our mood manager where the magic all comes together. So let's say I want to save this. I like what I did. I want to be able to flip a switch once we get that installed, our mood switch, and say I want to do patio. Let's call this just patio tropical, right? I want to turn on these tropical patio lights and not have to go through and hit, you know, the color ombre, the light ombre, the glow settings, the speed. I just want it to remember. So I'm going to go into my mood manager. We have a sync mood, so once we get them all together, we can sync them, make sure they're all on time. That's that apply mood, but we need to create a mood first. So we're just going to hit add new. And then we could call this, what did I say, patio tropical. Great. And now we see that very similar logic where, actually I can minimize this, where the text has changed. It's green now. It says it's available. If I click it, it'll turn blue and say it's active, letting me know I've added it to the mood. I'm very silly because I forgot to talk about a feature that'll save you time, and we went and set it up. So because we created those links, I could do what I just did where I clicked everything and kind of went on autopilot, or I could say add by link or remove by link. I'm going to do remove by link to remove everything from here. So what that just did is it identified everything that was tied to that patio light, and then I can hit add by link and add them back again. So it was silly of me to go around and click all of those and not just click add by link and then patio light. So setting up your links are really important, save you a lot of time when you start creating moods and sending out commands. And maybe it was a good thing I made a mistake because I showed you the slow way and then the much faster way. Alright, so I'm happy with that. I added the patio lights. I'm going to hit save mood. Okay, I stopped the video because I thought something had broken because I changed my settings a little bit and I forgot that I turned off text just scrolling on the screen. But nothing broke. We are fine. So I hit that save moods, and what happened was it then spat out a lot of text. So we have the chunk 1 kind of lets us know, alright, this is where we actually need to start copying this text over, because this is how we're going to get those commands. And then because of the limitations of SL, I had to, if you have a lot of GloBrix, it does chop it up into several commands, but it will let you know that you're at the end when it says finishing mood capture, and then your final chunk, and then you have your end mood here. So I'm going to make sure I grab it from mood to mood, copy that, right click and edit my HUD. Now I'm going to open my moods, paste that in there, and then I'm just going to grab all of those chunks and delete them, which is why I kind of made them easy to spot with the chunks and the equal signs. Okay, so we have the end mood command here. These are all of the commands we've set up, letting it know the glow, the color, the light, everything it needs to know. Alright, we hit save, so that's going to reload. We have hide GloBrix turned off, which is perfect. I'm going to hit show GloBrix again. I want to turn the listening on, so I'm going to go to the link manager, I want to turn it on, so turn listen on, patio lights, done, and then I've skipped over this clear listening button because I didn't want to use it yet, but what that does is just clear out all of the either light settings, color settings, glow settings. It will leave the texture alone. It won't like clear it out so it's white, but it won't send any new texture updates. So I'm just going to hit that. Turns it all off. Oh no. I could actually turn the listen off, or I could hit hide GloBrix to hide that text. Now I can go into Mood Manager. We created that new mood, so I want to apply it to get a look at it. Now it's going to be reading that note card, so it can take, especially if you go crazy like me and you get lots and lots of GloBrix, so it'll take, it took about 5 seconds. Why didn't the glow save? Oh, you know what we didn't do? That's okay. I skipped a setting and that's why it didn't apply, because I already had it on before. So let's talk about that setting. Let's show the GloBrix, turn listen on, patio lights, done. Under glow settings, I forgot to hit the full bright. So I want to make sure when this is on that it kind of has that more poppy look to it. So I need to hit turn on full bright. If I hit it again, it'll turn it back off. So again, that just makes that light prim actually look like it's lit up. And because I didn't set that and it was already a setting in the house, it didn't know to send that over. No big deal. We can go back to Mood Manager. It's like I planned this. Edit mood. Patio tropical. In just a second, it is going to read the UUID and the link, I'm sorry, it's going to read all those settings, make sure it's applied. Here it goes. It's going to tell us which ones are in Patio Tropical. Great. If I wanted to, let's say, remove something from a mood, I could click it and then hit save, and it would update everything and send it. I actually want these listening so I can send a command. So I'm going to hit mood listen on. It's saying it's part of it and it's listening now, so I can send new commands. Go back to glow mode, hit full right. Perfect. My cats have been rotating through my lap, so now we have Kinky, my black cat. Alright, let's see. Yep, easy enough. I really hope the mic picked up that meow. I'm gonna hit save mood. Now, before I panicked, because I was like, oh no, it didn't work. But if I actually scroll down, it is reprinting that command, and we can see that Fulbright got sent correctly. So copying it, minimizing chat again, hitting edit, going to moods. I actually want to just get rid of this original one. Hit save. It does take a second to load the note card, so if I had my chat open, you could see it's thinking. Those in SL know to be a little patient, especially when doing cool stuff like this. Right, mood manager, apply mood. Well, let's go from nothing. So I'm gonna turn on my patio lights listening. I'm gonna clear all the commands, and we're gonna try that again. There we go. Now it will sync them. There we go. Once they're all applied, we see that blue text letting us know it's applied. And then that text actually disappears, I think, after 5 seconds. There we go. We could turn down our light settings. If you're crazy like me, you can go to Photo Tools, No Light. And sometimes I do that when I'm decorating. I'll decorate with no lighting on and then get really into the weeds on just manipulating every single light. So, it's a bit much though for right now. I agree, Kinky. So there we go. Now we could add more. So if I wanted to, let's see, show GloBrix, turn on listening. Done. I could go back into my colors and I could just start all over. So I could do, let's do that Christmas theme we had on before, because it is the 15th. We're almost there. I want to increase the speed too. This scene calls for kind of a slower vibe. Alright, and then we want to do the same with the lighting. And I believe the radius will stay the same, but we may have to fix that as well. Let's see. Yeah, perfect. And then I actually want to have maybe a flicker. glow setting on. I know the Fulbright's on, but I just wanna, there we go. Yeah. That's fun. Let's save it. So we'll go to Mood Manager. I had to pause there because we had some cat related technical issues, so we're going to start again from saving this mood. So I'm going to hit Add New Mood, Xmas Patio, Add by Link, Patio Lights, done. And then I'm going to hit Save Mood. Alright. Okay. We have more going on, so there's a few more chunks, but that's alright because it's not that hard to edit. So we're going to edit this GloBrix Moods. We have that tropical. Save that. Alright, I'm just waiting for the note card to load. There we go. We could switch over now to that first one we created, Patio Tropical. Give that just a second. And there we go. Switch to that. But you know, actually, it's still Christmas. It's too early, so I'm gonna go into back to Xmas. Now you can start to see that we're building this up. I'm really excited to add GloBrix to these, so I could have, and this is actually set up in a way where, so this is phase 2, phase 1, phase 3. I think, yeah, and they're actually, I don't need to select by phase. I just need 2. Oh, maybe it is 1. Oh. I'm a little less excited now because I thought that these were all linked, but because they're a face, they'll have to be unified on the lighting, but we can still do a lot of fun stuff. Okay, we have those Christmas lights applied here. Can't wait to add lights to here. Ooh, that's gonna be fun. Maybe our Christmas lights we can start to mess with a little bit. Yep, those are all a phase. So at this phase, I'm just kind of looking around like, what am I gonna add to GloBrix so that I'm not only changing the patio lights, but I'm changing all of the lights within my build with just a flick of a switch, which is what you saw in the beginning of this video. So I'm going to keep working on this, and I'll see you on the flip side. Thank you for watching.